When it comes to trite slogans, believe women is enough to give the likes of Just Say No a run for their simplistic marketing money. In advocating an automatic and unquestioning acceptance of any accusations brought forward by female complainants alleging to have been sexually harassed or assaulted, those who adopted Believe Women as a rallying catch cry in recent years have done a disservice to everyone. While I appreciate the good intentions, and it should be noted that false allegations of sexual assault are indeed very rare, the Believe Women mantra was always doomed. And nothing brings about a belated rethink faster than when allegations take an inconvenient turn and are suddenly directed at the very man who's the great white hope to take down Trump. I speak, of course, of Joe Biden, who's been met with a surprisingly sympathetic response in the wake of allegations made by former staffer Tara Reade, who's accused Biden of sexually assaulting her when she worked for him in 1993. Having spent the past few years insisting that alleged victims deserve to be taken seriously and reminding the skeptics of the very real complexities involved in a serious power imbalance and the long-term impact caused by the trauma of assault, suddenly those tireless defenders of women have changed sides. Not only do the Biden backers refuse to believe women or pay even one woman, Reade, the courtesy of hearing her out, but they've actively sought to discredit her with the sort of tactics that would make even the most callous of defence lawyers blush. As Reade told Megyn Kelly in an interview last weekend, "I think I'm the poster girl as to why women wouldn't come forward, aren't I?" Just this weekend, a fresh round of Let's Destroy Tara Reade unfolded in the US media, cheered along by Biden's supposedly progressive followers who can't leap off the moral high ground quick enough. It's hypocrisy at its worst, and it doesn't even bear considering what message the appalling campaign to smear Reade is sending to victims of assault and harassment around the world. What a tragedy and a farce that in the blink of a partisan eye, the mob have gone from believing women to vilifying them. Panel, really keen to get your thoughts on this topic. Daisy, I might start with you. What do you think of this whole incident with Tara Reade and her allegations against Joe Biden and the response from people who to date have been so supportive of the Believe Women campaign?
Oh, God, Sarah, the whole thing is vile, and thank you so much for your editorial. I wanted to high-five you through the camera. This whole thing has made me so infuriated because one of the things that I truly, truly hate about social movements, which seems to sort of be the theme of the night, is hypocrisy. And certainly we have seen some astounding hypocrisy when it comes to the treatment of Tara Reade. I mean, you look at the women who are sort of big in the MeToo movement. For instance, Alyssa Milano is the big example that springs to mind. You look how quick they were to condemn Brett Kavanaugh, for instance, in 2018 when a 36-year-old allegation by Christine Blasey Ford came out, which had no corroboration, no evidence, nothing of the kind. Although, you know, it was a believable allegation, there was nothing to support it. And all of a sudden, Kavanaugh was the devil. They were calling him evil. They were calling him a rapist. They were dismissing totally the idea of due process because he was part of their political opposition, and it was politically useful to them to do that because they wanted to prevent Trump from appointing a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. I mean, they were hammering on the Supreme Court door. They were parading around dressed as handmaids from The Handmaid's Tale, for God's sake, and all the while destroying this man's life. Flip to Tara Reade when it's a man that they like, you know, a man that they support, a man they think that can beat Trump, and suddenly Believe All Women turns into Believe Our Women. They don't actually care about women. They've never cared about women. All they care about is politics, power, and winning. And certainly some of the attacks on Tara Reade are just ridiculous. There are people calling her a Russian asset, for goodness sake. And the worst of all these activists absolutely was Alyssa Milano, who sent out, of course, the original Me Too tweet about Harvey Weinstein, which, of course, ended in the best possible way. Harvey is now well and truly in jail. But she was one of the people that absolutely monstered Brett Kavanaugh in 2018, was completely callous in her condemnation of him. She recently not only has endorsed Joe Biden for president, but she went on a podcast and all of a sudden started talking about due process and how she believes in due process and the presumption of innocence and how she never ever intended to ruin innocent men's lives with MeToo, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it was absolutely shocking, the hypocrisy, but it is so revealing of this particular social movement that the minute that the shoe is on the other foot, all principle goes out the window, and they are seeking to destroy this woman for no other reason that she is not politically useful to them.